What's going on?
We've come on holiday to a Swedish horror film.
I feel like we are being watched.
Is this about last night?
What happened last night?
Coming here was a big mistake for you.
Why?
Well, we better get on.
Everything is fine.
Getaway. Or get away. There's a space there. Either way, this is January and I'm at a con next week, so no Wolfman quite yet. Instead, I hopped on over to Shudder to see what was new, finding that a new film written by and starring Nick Frost dropped. You all know Nick Frost, right? He's the duo in the Simon Pegg films, the Cornetto trilogy, the big dude in Shaun of the Dead. He's a great guy, very funny. So color me surprised to see this movie drop, describing itself as a horror comedy set in a foreign land. Dun dun. I was a bit intrigued just reading the summary there. It kind of felt paint by numbers, but everything I saw said it had a pretty good twist in it, so I figured why not? And so I went in and started watching it without seeing any trailers or reading any reviews, and man, this sucked. Oh, this was bad. First big stinker of 2025 right here. Just, ugh. Also, it's a little racist, kind of. I didn't feel great watching it. It doesn't even have any good ideas going for it either. It's just bad. Even the twist, just all around bad. Let me get into it first. So what is this movie even about? Get Away follows a family of 4 on holiday to a remote island in Sweden. They want the island because it takes place during a traditional holiday the islanders have surrounding a cannibalistic history with the English, and they're somewhat related to those English people, but okay, whatever. Their vacation, however, takes a turn when it is discovered that the residents don't want them there and that a serial killer might be living on the island. It's a pretty basic setup and gets itself ready for a fun, if completely nonsensical, twist in the climax. Until then, though, this movie is dry as the Sahara. It's so bland. It tries to be funny here and there, but the dialogue doesn't help much. Characters are mumbling constantly to each other under their breath, and the jokes are just lost in the haze. How hard is it to speak up? It's like everyone in this movie is super hearing or something. They're whispering even when they're the only 2 characters in a room. Everything is said quiet, under their breath. And I don't know if that's just a Swedish thing or not, because the English people do it too. It's really annoying. I hated it. I felt like I should have just turned on subtitles. I could understand it, but I really had to strain, and turning up the volume too high just made the room echo. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to do that. What is this? It's just weird. The dialogue is just so quiet. The story is also just really meh. The family isn't that interesting to begin with, nor are they really fun to watch bicker and get along. It just feels way too forced. The locals, the interesting part of the movie, if you can call it that, are all way too antagonistic as well for no reason besides, ooh, we don't like the foreigners here. I get that's the trope of the movie, but it could have been played up for more laughs, and instead it takes itself just way too seriously. Back off a little bit, you can go at this just a little lighter. Maybe I should have been a bit more cautious going into this, since the last Swedish horror movie I watched, Leave, was so awfully done as well. So I don't know. This movie has one interesting character, being the Swedish man the family rents an Airbnb from. He's so creepy to the extreme, but it never goes anywhere. He's just creepy to be creepy. He's played really well by Eero Milanov, but he just isn't given much to do in order to be unique. If there's a creepy Airbnb owner trope, he does all of them. That's it. Come on. The family is odd too. Nick Frost, who also wrote this movie, plays the husband, and he's just okay, really. He tries to be a little bit bumbling or kind of shy, and I just don't buy it, especially after the climax. It's just not believable or fun to watch. The wife is played by Aisling B, who also just feels very odd. She has some jokes, but she flip-flops constantly from ooh, I don't feel comfortable to, oh, I'm just fine, let's go swimming. And I'm like, what? What's going on here? I get that that's the point. They're an odd couple family in a foreign land trying to act like they belong, and it's just so forced and so dumb. The kids are at least interesting. The daughter's played by Maisie Aries, and she's just okay too. She really doesn't come into her own until after the twist. Then it's kind of fun to watch her, but still, everything up until that is just meh. And the son is the absolute worst, played by Sebastian Croft. I don't blame the actor, don't get me wrong. I think the actor did just fine with what he was given, but what he's given to do sucks. The kid is so whiny and egotistical, constantly going off about being a vegetarian, and he's just so annoying. Even after the twist, he's annoying as all hell, and it's clear that nobody likes it. It's so upsetting and just really aggravating. I don't understand what the decision was behind that. Just, jeez. I get that it's intentional, and the hints are dropped throughout the movie about his true relationship to everyone, but he still sucks as a character. I keep mentioning the twist, and I'm kind of on the fence with it. For one, it is the best part of the movie that leads to a wildly over-aggressive and violent climax, but on the other hand, it makes absolutely no sense and doesn't feel earned thematically. Just not at all. So what's the point? I kind of want to spoil it, but these reviews are no spoilers, so I don't know. Maybe I'll spoil it in the comments if you guys want to know. But either way, the twist is obvious about 5 minutes before it occurs, and I do love the cartoony carnage that comes after it, but the reasoning and the motivation just suck. They're so poorly thought out. It's just, oh, these specific characters are completely different now, and we're not gonna explain why. Oh, it's so shoddy and transparent. I don't know what Nick Frost was doing here. Which is a shame because the movie finally decides to be fun. It's just really annoying. Terrible. I get that this is Nick Frost's first solo writing effort, but it really comes off like this movie was just a write-off so that the crew could go have a Swiss vacation, have an actual Swiss holiday, and then do some fun gore stunts later on. It really, really feels like that. There's just nothing redeeming here. Even the gore, that is admittedly very fun and gooey, also kind of sucks and looks pretty cheap at a lot of times. One dude gets his hand blown off at one point and just treats it like it was nothing for the rest of the movie. Like, what? It doesn't even bleed, it's just gone. It does get a couple of funny jokes about it, but what the hell? Weird. Also, I hesitate to really open this particular can of worms, but after watching this movie, it honestly feels really racist towards Swedish people. Like, all the Swiss people in the film are either creepy or weird or potentially cannibals. They're violent and gross or just plain stupid. And the way the climax plays out, it just left me feeling very dirty and not in a good way. I just wasn't comfortable. I don't think any of that was intentional, and I don't think that this is meant to be racist towards Swedish people, but I don't know. It definitely felt like that while watching the whole thing. I'm like, this is just really uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on here. Breaking the movie down some more, other bits also make no sense. There's a whole thing about the last ferry to the island before the family is stranded for 3 days for this holiday thing, but several people come and go just fine with their own boats. There are boats on the island. Also, the mainland is very much within swimming distance. You can't even argue that the water is cold because there's a scene where the family goes swimming in the harbor and they're just fine. So what's the point of building up the ferry leaving? It doesn't make sense if you're gonna have this many ways to get off the island. There are just so many. Ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that's just bad. It's such an easy fix. You just say, oh, all the boats are gone, or you have the island be physically further away from any other landmass, but I guess it's a real island, I think. I haven't looked it up. I'll let you guys know if it is, if I do look it up. But either way, just just bad. If I were to fix this movie, I'd need to scrap and rewrite the whole thing. Even the title sucks. I get it's a play on words by adding a space to getaway, like a holiday getaway, but turning it into get away. But nobody even tries to get away. So what's the point? It's such a bad title and it's so generic. Maybe they chose that particular one because there were already 2 other instances of Getaway being a title in movies, one in 2013, another in 2020. Just Why? Whatever. Hey guys, Editing Lark here. I actually just found this out, but the original title for this movie was Falta, which is the name of the island the family goes to. I don't know why they changed it to Getaway. I can't find anything about that, but the more you know. Dun, 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 dun. Regardless, it's just a dumb title, like that one movie Plane that barely takes place on a plane. Just awful. Anyway, this movie is a train wreck. The first 2/3 are ultimately incredibly forgettable. Quiet nonsense that's not even that funny. And the ending is fun for a couple of minutes, but makes no sense with the story and comes out of nowhere. It's just an excuse to subvert expectations, but it doesn't follow up on anything. So it just kind of feels like it dropped the ball. I don't know what else to say about that. Just really annoying. Don't watch this movie. It's not worth your time or effort. I feel bad for the director, Stefan Hars, but he just couldn't save the screenplay. It's not good. It's very much a stinker. Someone should have told that to Nick Frost, or he should have had someone else read it over. That's why I'm still thinking this feels like it was just an excuse to have the cast and crew go to Sweden for a holiday and then have fun with gore. That's all I can think of. Jesus, whatever. Skip this one and find something better. I beg of you, there are so many better movies. So ultimately, Getaway gets a 4 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. First big stinker of 2025. I feel so bad that it's a Nick Frost movie. I really like the Cornetto trilogy. I guess he really just needed Simon Pegg around, but I hate it. I hate it so much. This was so bad. I wasn't having fun, and I'm just like, okay, I know there's a twist coming. I know they're gonna do something wild. Can I see what it is? And as soon as the family was gonna go swimming, I'm like, okay, yep, I know exactly what it is, and I was completely right. And at least the carnage is fun, but everything from like that moment on and the ending just feels really dirty for no reason. I get it's supposed to be fun cartoony carnage that very much suddenly doesn't take itself seriously, but then everything leading up to it kind of was taking itself seriously. So what's the point? There's this detective character too that is so deadpan, and I get that's kind of the joke, but he doesn't do anything. He shows up, gets told to leave, and then he leaves. What are you supposed to do with that? Come on, what am I supposed to do with that? It's just a dude who shows up and leaves. He doesn't do anything. He interacts with like 2 characters and that's it. What is the point? Oh my God, Nick, I need you to write a better movie, or have somebody read over this and be like, this ain't it, Chief. You need a better idea or something, because this is just bad. I'm thinking like it's gonna be the twist out of The World's End or something, or Hot Fuzz, and it just isn't. It's so not good. Anyway, what did you guys think? Did you watch this movie? I hope not. Don't bother if you haven't. This review should be plenty of information enough about it. Let me know in the comments below. Other than that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a video. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo. The fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost soul. And I'm just a